All right, I'm not gonna lie to you. The fact that my coffee is almost gone is very upsetting for me because I haven't slept all night. Welcome. Hey, so my name is Piper, and I'm gonna kind of guide you on how to create a LARP character after a pandemic. So a lot of people in the year of 2020 had made plans. Exciting plans. Plans that no longer work out. I have gotten quite a few comments in the year of 2020 about how many of you wanted to, made plans to, already booked your flight, and possibly paid for a ticket to go to your first LARP ever, and it didn't happen because there's a pandemic. Yeah, and it was devastating, honestly. The year 2020 and into 2021, still, for a lot of people around the world, is devastating. This was not a joke. But for a lot of us, especially if you live in the States, we're so much more close to being able to LARP, and that is awesome, but we can't forget the rest of the world. So please still be safe, still be quarantining, and please use your voice to vocalize the frustrations of those around the world who are still suffering greatly because of this pandemic. So if you're new to LARPing, I wanted to create this video to help you out with not only finding a LARP, but making a LARP character. Of course, different companies and different runners have different procedures for how you create a character, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of basis and a little bit of advice. And please be aware that this is just one LARP content creator. I am not the end-all be-all of anything. I am not the big mind flare. Oh gosh, D&D. I am not the person who knows all about everything. So just be aware of that. But this is what I have to say. So first things first, what the heck is LARP? LARP stands for live action roleplay. So basically it is roleplay that is live action. That's a little bit of a simplification, but pretty much it is a group of people getting together to create stories with one another through live action play. So you are acting as these characters. It is very much so like improv. The acronym of LARP, live action roleplay, is actually kind of an umbrella term. What I mean by that is if you've ever gone to a Ren Fest and you were yourself and then suddenly you and a bunch of random strangers started acting together and pretending to be different people and you just kind of stuck through it throughout the day at Ren Fair, you were LARPing. I have a strict no gatekeeping policy when it comes to LARP. So I will tell you this. You can LARP virtually anywhere, online, at home, literally in your living room, in your bedroom. You can LARP pretty much anywhere. It does not all have to be expensive castles and traveling to Europe all the time and doing all these other things. You can LARP in a field in your backyard. One thing to remember about LARP and to remember about our communities is that things such as, and this is a more serious topic, but things such as racism, sexism, transphobia, homophobia, ableism, and other forms of bigotry, they're not allowed in our games. They're not allowed in our circles. And if you see these things, always call it out. We are here to make space for people. We are not here to break people down and manipulate them into being what we want them to be. No, we are here for everyone to join the table as long as they are not hate-filled humans. You know what I mean? And I also want to say, if LARP runners or players are ever giving you bad vibes or making you uncomfortable, that is an immediate run for the hills. Do not stay. If anyone ever makes you feel uncomfortable, you're not comfortable with the scene, you can say no. And any company runner, player that's not okay with you saying no to something that you're uncomfortable with isn't worth your time. Get out of there. Don't hang out with those people. Yeet yourself. Yeet! yourself out of there. Alright, so I told you what LARP is, and I also gave you a little bit of a warning, just because not because LARP is inherently like a dangerous place, but just because, you know, when you're going to new places or you're traveling, because let's be honest, if I am being honest, a lot of people, unless they're doing it in their own home, will have to travel for LARP. You might have to go 15 minutes, an hour, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, however long, 2 days away, to a game that you want to play. And it happens, you know? But now that I have given you those bits of advice and told you what LARPing is, I just gotta ask you one thing. Have you found a game yet? So first off, you can go to Google, Facebook, Twitter, type in LARPing. So you go to Facebook, Google, things like that. You see these reviews, you see people talking about these games, and you're getting excited. All right, cool. Make sure before you ever buy your ticket that you do a lot of research. Most LARPs nowadays already have websites for you, so even if you find them on Google or Facebook or Twitter, if you go to their social media bio or their About Me page, there's usually a website for you to click on. There you will find all of the lore and all of the things you could possibly need for the LARP. If it's kind of sparse and there's not really anything there, maybe keep your eye out for it. I wouldn't buy a ticket quite yet, because you need a lot more info if you're going to be paying for a ticket. People always ask, how much does it cost to LARP? And I'm going to be honest, it could cost anything. There are LARPs around me that, obviously they're not going right now, but if they had been, they were like about $15 for entry. Types of LARPs we can possibly get into in a different video. We can chit chat about that. But what I'm trying to say is, do your research. And if there's barely any research, maybe steer clear of that LARP for now. Now, some games have what is called consultations. The reason why there might be a consultation is because of a multitude of things. So there could be set characters, or you're creating your own character. You're probably like, wait, you don't always make your own character? Actually, no, not always. What I mean by that is that in some games they have a set cast. So they have characters already pre-written that you basically are fulfilling the role of. Yes, you get to make these characters your own. You get to provide your own costumes for a lot of them. Sometimes LARPs will provide costumes for you and also props, but you get to make the character usually fit best for you. It's like it's molding with you and what is written on the paper, on the page. And then there are LARPs where in your consultation, instead of giving you your character and saying this is who you're playing and are there any corrections you'd like, they kind of basically just sit down with you and go, all right, maybe they have a clan, maybe they have factions. They say these are the factions, these are X, Y, and Z. What are you most interested in? Which group are you most interested in? Or what do you think about your character? Do you have any thoughts about what you'd like to play? What kind of person you'd like to play? Do you want a high level position, etc., etc.? They'll sit down with you and help you with your character. And also in some cases, they don't at all. All right, so let's just say you've been given a character who you mostly get to create for yourself. Think about the world you live in. Is there a time period for this world? Is there anything like that? Is there a time period? Is there a style? Because if there is, then that can help you narrow down which names to do. Say you're doing early 1800s London. Okay. What kind of names were popular back then? Easy Google search, right? All right, so you found the name. Awesome. How old is my character? Next thing to ask yourself is, what class is your character? Are they rich? Are they poor? Are they middle class? Does this time period have a middle class? Because some time periods didn't. Does it apply? Now you have family members. How many family members do you want? Mind you, they may never come up in conversation. They may never come up in the LARP literally at all, but it helps to plant yourself into the world. So if time period is important for the game that you're playing, this can also help with your backstory. Because say it's set in a time of possibly real life. So maybe it's set during a time of war that has actually happened. This could affect the life of your character. Be careful with things like this. Do not go and steal someone else's culture or try to become a different race that you're not. We're not down for that. We're not doing that. Make sure that you are your race, okay? But think about what was happening in that time period and how would that affect you. So if you chose that you were poor, how were poor people affected during this time? Now let's get into appearance. I have them written down right here. What color is their hair? Okay, you might be going, Piper, how are these things supposed to help me? By having these things down packed, anything that you want that you can't figure out, you can just go, well, I have this, this, and that. So maybe this fits better. That is why we're being a little bit meticulous, but also just because maybe this is your first time creating a character. So I'm just giving you some things to think about. Okay, what color are their eyes? So if your character is not human, what are they? Are they an elf? Are they a hobbit? What are they? Are they a mermaid of some kind? Are they a vampire? Here is something I don't believe a lot of people think about when they think about creating their character, but what's their color palette? This helps a lot because if you have an aesthetic, you have a color palette, then when you're looking for things to add to your costuming or you're looking for things to add to your props, certain colors to bring everything together for your look, it just melts together because you have a color palette. Okay, say you're only doing browns, greens, and beiges, lit. Things that are brown, greens, and beiges are things that will work for you. Awesome. Done. Just find these items that you really like that fits those color palettes. Makes it so much easier. Does your character abide by the fashion of that time or of that world? This also helps you with picking out your clothing. Because are they a rebel? Are they someone who it's taboo to wear clothes off the shoulder, but they do it anyways? Or is it taboo or not really common to wear a certain color within the world? But your character wants to rebel. So know your color palette and know the fashion of the time or of the world and whether or not your character fits into it. All right. Backstory, which means talking to other people. Hard because like people have social anxiety. I have social anxiety, pretty bad social anxiety actually, agoraphobic as well. So it's kind of like talking to people. I don't know about that. So talk to other characters, talk to other players. Out for your backstory, what are their hopes? What are their goals? You have a sub goal and then you have a major goal. It is also okay to not reach your goal because sometimes you just don't reach your goal during that game and oops, you have to come back next time for the next game. Oh no. But most of the time you will of course have a link to an NPC of some kind who is there to guide you and protect you. But that is pretty much it. Once you have all of this, your character pretty much just falls into place naturally. For most LARPs nowadays, there are consent mechanics, which are a very important thing. Basically, it's how to dip out of the scene, how to leave a scene. If something's like a hard no, there's signs for that. If you have to go to the restroom, if you have to pass through, these are typically told to you before you play the game. If there aren't consent mechanics, you might want to talk to the runners because they should probably have some consent mechanics. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, just saying. We've got to be safe out here. And that is it from me. I hope that you learned something today. I hope that you learned, you know, what is LARP and how to create a character. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a like, comment, and subscribe. If you want any other LARP videos, I have some for you already on my channel. So yes, Thank you so much also to my patrons. Boo boo. These are awesome people who help support us and help me create content here on the interwebs. If you'd like to become a patron, that link will be in the description down below. But these are my lovely people right here. Not all of them. This is just some of them. I have others, but these are some people. I'll see y'all next time. Bye. Ooh.